People say Bitcoin is an inflation hedge, but that claim collapses the moment you ask a simple question. What is the actual mechanism? Inflation is driven by prices, wages, supply and demand, credit conditions, monetary policy, and fiscal policy. Bitcoin has no causal relationship with any of that. It isn't used to price goods. It isn't used in wages. It isn't used in contracts, commodities, credit markets, or trade. There is no channel connecting Bitcoin to inflation. So the idea that Bitcoin hedges inflation isn't based on economics. It's based on a story. If something hedges inflation, there has to be a mechanism, a transmission channel, a way for rising prices to affect the asset. Bitcoin doesn't have one. There's no adjustment, no linkage, no feedback loop. Nothing in the protocol responds to inflation. The only connection between Bitcoin and inflation is belief, and belief is not a hedge. A real inflation hedge has to respond to inflation. A real inflation hedge is something you can rely on when prices rise, not something that collapses right when you need purchasing power the most. And when you look at how Bitcoin actually behaves, the picture gets even clearer. If Bitcoin were an inflation hedge, you'd expect it to rise when inflation rises. But the opposite happens. Bitcoin trades on liquidity conditions, not inflation. Bitcoin doesn't react to inflation. It reacts to liquidity. When CPI cools, liquidity expectations rise. Bitcoin pumps. When CPI spikes, liquidity expectations fall. Bitcoin dumps. Markets treat Bitcoin like a high-beta tech stock, not like a hedge, not like a safe haven, not like protection against rising prices. Bitcoin doesn't trade like an inflation hedge. It trades like speculative risk. Before you bring up monetary debasement, that's not modern inflation. Debasing metal coins is a historical phenomenon. Inflation today is driven by prices, wages, credit, and demand. The Roman denarius argument doesn't apply. Modern inflation isn't caused by diluting silver coins with copper. It's driven by prices, wages, credit, and demand. Bitcoin has no channel into any of it. So why do people call it an inflation hedge? Because it sounds good. Because it fits the mythology. Because it gives people a reason to hold something volatile. But that's narrative, not property. Bitcoin's actual properties are technical. 21 million supply, halving schedule, using SHA-256, block time. None of these create an inflation hedge. None of them connect Bitcoin to inflation. None of them stabilize purchasing power. Inflation hedge is just another story layered on top of a speculative asset. Bitcoin is not an inflation hedge. There's no mechanism. There's no linkage. There's no economic channel. Just belief, volatility, and a narrative that falls apart the moment you stop repeating it. Bitcoin doesn't protect you from inflation. It protects you from reality, as long as you keep believing the story.